So there's been a lot of talk after this election about people wanting to uh, repeal the Electoral College. Now, the Electoral College is a mechanism established by Article 2 of the United States Constitution that we use to select a president. Now, the common misconception that seems to be going around is, well, since we're a democracy, we don't need the Electoral College. It should be majority rule that decides the election. As in, if a majority of the people vote for one candidate, then that candidate wins. Except the thing is, we're not a democracy, and majority rules do not always have the fairest outcomes. I'm going to let my fellow YouTuber, goes by the name of Such, explain why it is exactly.
Ancient Greece was a democracy. And because it was a democracy, any little thing that came about, any emotional issue, anything that was the winds of change stirred around, and the masses would begin to vote for that passion, for that problem, and they would legislate things in that manner. And what happened was it became mob rule. The Roman government had a republic. And while it was not perfect, a lot of the way our government is set up is according to that republic. And it's a rule of law. We go by laws of the land, and we govern ourselves by those laws. A democracy is two wolves and a sheep sitting down and voting for who's for dinner. I think we know the outcome of that. The republic will protect individual rights. Even though you're standing against a majority, because the law states a certain thing, we stay within the law.
But first, let's take a look at what the Electoral College is. Now, a quick Google search will yield the purpose of the Electoral College is to be a compromise between election of the president by the vote of Congress and the popular vote of the people. The founding fathers established the Electoral College in the United States Constitution, believing that it would be both a buffer and provide fair power to all states regardless of size. So one of the main purposes, according to that, is to prevent the smaller states from being overlooked during an election. Now, if we look at the results from this election, we can see that while Hillary did win the popular vote, Donald Trump not only won the electoral vote, but it's also important to know that he won the number of states carried as well. And you know, I find it odd that the Time magazine would describe us as the divided states of America when they put Donald Trump's picture as Person of the Year. Even though in the previous election, in 2012, the states had a tighter division. In other words, they were more split. But for some reason, there was no mention of division when they named Barack Obama Person of the Year. My media bias detector is showing some activity. Now, why so much talk about states? Why is it so important for states to have a fair shake in the election? Well, to answer that question, one needs to look no further than the name of our country. We are the United States of America. We're not the United People of America, but the United States of America. When you take the Pledge of Allegiance, you're pledging your allegiance to all 50 states, not just the popular ones. You're pledging to all 50 of them and the unity they have within. The flag you face when you stand, not kneel, but when you stand, place your hand over your heart and recite that pledge, has 50 stars on it. I'm sure you know what those 50 stars symbolize. And if you'll notice that there is no star that is bigger than the other. There's also no markings on the flag to indicate which stars are more popular than the other. Because in this symbolic representation, all stars are of equal importance. As I've explained, the Electoral College is paramount to retaining unity within the states. Again, they do this by preventing a few states from controlling the election over the rest. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it helps all states to have at least some say in the election. There's a lot of people that now want to overturn the Electoral College. And that's okay. You know, many brave men and women have suffered horrible deaths, have sacrificed everything they have for the right you have to your own opinion. But I have to wonder about the sincerity of your allegiance, your commitment to the pledge you take in keeping the states of America united.